Well, welcome back to my next video reacting to my AFC South predictions for this last season before the season started. So let's get into it, and we'll see what I got right and what I got wrong. We're wearing the same
AFC
shirt.
South. This division is gonna surprise people. But anyway, moving on to
It did actually surprise people, so I got that right. We'll see what my prediction is, though. So it did surprise people.
my predictions. This is what I have. I have Titans, Colts, Texans, and Jaguars. And I will get to why I think.
Perfect. Perfect. Let's see what the records were. But perfect. Perfect prediction. That's exactly what happened. Let's see what the records end up being.
Jaguars are going to win the division in a minute, but Titans. So, I think personally their ceiling, how many wins they could get, it really depends on if Cam Ward is as good as advertised. If Cam Ward is...
Yeah, Cam Ward wasn't the problem. It was everyone else that was the problem. So we'll see what happens under new leadership, under Robert Saleh. So that's who the new Titans head coach is. So we'll figure it out.
Then yeah, they'll probably get at least 9 wins, 9-10 wins. If he's not, and he's mediocre, I think he'll probably get around 5-6 wins. I think if he's just awful, they're gonna get like 3 wins. But I think that the Titans are going to get about 6 wins this season. So I have them right in the middle. I think that's closer because I think Cam Ward is going to help the Titans be a little bit better than they were last year. But I don't think the team's quite good enough yet to like make the playoffs. But yeah, we'll see what happens with the Titans.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened.
They had 3 wins last year.
And I think they had 3 wins this year.
The Titans, they had 3 wins last year. They got the first overall pick. They got Cam Ward, which is what pretty much everyone was thinking they would get. They got him. And yeah, that's about it. Will Levis, clearly not the guy.
Nope. I don't even think he's in the NFL
he was not the guy. That was painful, especially in that Week 1 game against the Bears where they're up 17-0 and then they blow the lead. That was just honestly his entire career so far has just been painful to watch. So yeah, I had a couple of good games at the start of his career, which elevated him a little bit. In the following season, it was that was it. That's it. So anyway, I'm not going to spend too much time on the Titans. That's what I think the Titans are going to be. So yeah, Colts. I have them going 8-9. I have them just missing on a winning season. I think they could get a winning season. They could win.
That was their exact record. I nailed that perfectly.
In the division. Alright, I think that ceiling, they could go 11-6, maybe 12-5. That's kind of a stretch. But I think if everything goes wrong, I think 5-6 wins is more like where they're going to be at. I have them at 8 wins, just missing out on a winning season. I think the Colts were 8-9 last year as well. So yeah, really kind of staying the same. It's really going to depend on if Anthony Richardson takes a step forward.
Yeah, he was not the quarterback. It was Daniel Jones. So yeah.
Or if he stays where he's at. If he stays where he's at, they're going to get 8-9 wins. If he takes a leap forward, they may win the division. But ultimately, I think they're going to go 8-9. I think he's going to kind of stay where he's at right now. And then we will see maybe next season. Maybe I'll be completely wrong. Maybe they'll go 17-0. Okay, probably not. But who knows? Maybe. But,
that was an obvious joke. The sad part about it is they were like 8-1, 8-2. So no, not a perfect season, but a very, very good record, and they just completely collapsed. So if they didn't collapse, that wild prediction of them going like being very good was definitely possible. And it might have been good enough to win the division depending on how many wins they got, but because the Jaguars, I think, got 13 wins, so yeah, but that's crazy that I threw that out, that the Colts would be amazing, and they were for like half of the season. And then it just collapsed. And then Daniel Jones got hurt and completely collapsed, so yeah.
yeah, I don't think I don't think the Colts are really going to move forward or backward. I think they're just kind of stay where they're at for right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was yeah. So now I kind of went quicker on these last two to really talk about the Texans and the Jaguars, because I think the Jaguars are going to win the division. Here's why I think Houston won't. Houston has lost a lot of their players they got. They gave Laramie Tunsil to the Commanders. They gave Stephon Diggs to the Patriots. I think Tank Dell and Nico Collins are still on the team. CJ Stroud and Joe Mixon, they're still on the team. Ultimately, I really don't know what to make of CJ Stroud. First season, when he led them to the playoffs and led them to the divisional round, I'm thinking, yeah, he's going to be the next superstar. Last season, he had a little bit of a sophomore slump. Now, he still made the playoffs and they still made the divisional round, so they didn't really regress. They had the same record as they did last year. They won the division, and they moved on to the divisional round. So they didn't really regress in that way, even though really no one... CJ Stroud did not have a consistent player to throw the ball to because everyone kept getting hurt.
Okay, I don't know what I just said there, that little series of that little phrasing, those last couple of sentences, that completely confused me. But anyway, so here's the thing with Stroud. He's, as a, like, in the terms of quarterback play, I would say he's regressed. And he, I think, has shown some regression. However, I think it's also teams figuring him out. What I saw, especially in the playoffs, he does not do well with a bad O-line. Like, he needs a really good O-line to really play. And the Texans did exactly what they were supposed to do this season. They didn't win the division, but they made the playoffs, they got out of the wild card round, and they made it to the divisional round. And again, for the third straight year, they lost. They lost in the divisional round, I would say, because CJ Stroud threw 5 interceptions to the Patriots. I mean, that's kind of hard to come back from. That's number one. But they were able to get into his head. And the same thing with Pittsburgh, because that game was very close in the wild card game. That game was very close until like the fourth quarter. The defense had the Texans' offense right where they wanted them. It's just the Steelers' offense was never able to get anything going. So Steelers, I think, could have won that game. But because they had no offense in the worst time possible, they lost that game. But Houston, Stroud was kind of off a little bit. He seemed a little bit too stressed, and it was the same thing when he played against the Chiefs in the divisional round last year when they lost. He seems like nervous and scared when everyone's after him and he makes dumb decisions. If he has no pressure, he can make accurate throws and he can be a really good quarterback. But when he's under pressure, I don't think he's that great. He has some weaknesses. Kind of similar to Sam Darnold, but I think Sam Darnold has taken care of those weaknesses. So Stroud's kind of that way too. Now, is this something that he kind of gets out of? We'll see. I mean, this will be his 4th year this next year, so we'll see what happens. But the Texans constantly are doing the same thing every year, and they're not moving forward, but they're not moving backward at least. So we'll see. But anyway, I nailed these predictions pretty much down perfectly. Like, pretty much all of these predictions are, like, very good.
In straight seasons, Hank Dell has gotten hurt. That's not a good sign, since he's only been in the league 2 years. I don't think he even played
this season.
This would be his 3rd year. So, I don't know. But really, I have to see one more year of C.J. Stroud. If C.J. Stroud does what he did last year, or better,
he was
if he was as good as he was in year 1, or if he was better, he leads into like an 11-6 or 12-5 record. Then, yeah, I would say, yeah, he's gonna be a good quarterback. But if he starts regressing a little bit slowly every year, and kind of becomes more like a Russell Wilson, where he's good in his first few years, and all of a sudden he just nosedives, yeah,
I hope that's not Stroud personally. I do like him as a quarterback, but there's some things that I think he needs to work on, in my opinion, before he can get to that next level of quarterback play, because right now, he's not there.
Houston is probably going to be looking for a new quarterback in a few years, so we'll see. It just depends on
they got a solid team,
looks like. Their first, I would say, at least preseason game.
They have a solid defense, for sure. Super Bowl caliber defense. The offense the O-line needs to be better, and they need to get consistent receivers who aren't getting hurt. So that's also been the main problem. Stroud's got no one to throw the ball to, so that's something else they got to work on. They need to get consistent, healthier receivers. That's what they need to get.
As of recording this video is going to be today, so this video should come out before then as well. But yeah, I see Houston going 10-7. I think if they leap forward, I think they could go 12-5 or 13-4. But I think they're going to kind of stay where they're at. I don't think they're going to regress, really, and if they regress, they'll regress slightly. I don't think they're going to regress completely. I think they'll still go 10-7. However, I don't have them making the playoffs this year. Mainly because they didn't win the division. But I have the Chargers as the 7th seed at like a 10-7 as well. And I have them going a little bit higher.
Okay, that was the one thing that was off. Texans didn't go 10-7. They went 12-5, and they were the 5 seed, so they were fine when it comes to the playoffs. That's the one thing that's been off so far is the record. Texans made the playoffs, so that's so far been the one thing that's off that video. Other than that,
yeah, I have them like the 8th seed, so the Chargers are the 7th seed. Or the Chargers won 11-6, 1-2. But yeah,
Chargers were the 7th seed though this season.
Yeah, but why do I have the Jaguars winning the division?
Well, they did.
Really, it's new coaching. I think They have a little bit more of a competent coach now.
Okay.
Alright? That's me. I think they are pretty good. They were already a good team. They showed that they could be a good team. They made the playoffs a few years ago. They won a playoff game. So, they almost beat the Chiefs in the divisional round.
That was
And then in 2017, I know this is not really with the same players, but they still made the AFC Championship game. So, I think they have the talent to go far. They just needed better coaching. And now that I think they have it, I think Trevor Lawrence, assuming he doesn't get a major concussion again, is going to take a massive leap forward. And I have the Jaguars going 12-5. I know that
they went 13-4. I actually managed to get. I thought I was being generous with 12-5. When I made this video, they managed to succeed my expectations. So, wow.
might sound crazy, but I think with the addition of Travis Hunter, the Jaguars are saying they're going to play on both sides. Their Jaguars' first preseason game is also today. Yeah, I think they can do it, and I think they will. I think they will win. I think they'll win the division. They'll go 12-5. So, yeah. I personally like Trevor Lawrence as a quarterback, but I think now that he's got more of an offensive-minded head coach, he is going to take a leap forward, and the Jaguars are going to be the Jaguars that we thought they could be before they had that major collapse, and then they kind of and then they lost their footing. Now that they have more players, the only real thing, I really don't know who he's going to throw the ball to. Well, no. Okay. Anyway, Brian Thomas Jr., this is his second year. I don't know what I was talking about. I forgot about it.
Well, he was actually very underwhelming this season. So, guess you can say I got that right too. I don't know. But yeah, no, he was not the Brian Thomas Jr. in his rookie year. Like, his rookie year was much better than this last year.
Yeah, but this is going to be his second year. He had a massive rookie year.
Yeah, that did not happen this year.
Yeah, a lot of the other guys, they left. A lot of the other receivers, they left. Gabe Davis. Christian Kirk. Something like I forget his name now. But
Christian
yeah,
Kirk.
I think
I
think the Jaguars will win the division this year.
Did he go back to Jacksonville?
And
no, he went to Houston.
We'll see what happens. But
yeah, he actually went to Houston to play for. He's in Houston now. But yes, he was in the Jaguars, and they did get rid of him. But that's fine because he wasn't that great of a receiver anyway. Same with Gabe Davis. They're not really that great.
Yeah. So anyway, make sure you guys like, subscribe. Yeah, kind of a.
Okay. Alright, so that's it. That's the reaction. Shorter video. Not as long as the other two have been, but yeah. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video where I will react to my AFC West predictions. But my AFC North My AFC North predictions will be right here. So, if you're interested, take a look at that. Anyway, see you in the next video.